You're watching HCAM TV.
Hey, Hopkinton, good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. I'm your host, Mike Terosian, and today we're going to be talking two different subjects, but we're going to bring them all together. Today we're going to be talking about trails and crafts, and we are so happy to have with us today Margie Wiggin. Hello, Margie.
Hi.
I'm not Margie.
Get up, Margie. What's Mom doing out there? Where'd Margie go?
I'm over here.
Oh, there you are. Hey, welcome. How you doing? Long time.
Thank you. I'm doing well. Yeah,
Doing
it's a little
well?
hot out for me today, but it's I'm glad it's not a thunderstorm or hurricane, so
Right. Yeah. No, today is definitely a good day to be inside. I'm glad I'm inside today.
yeah.
So we got you here. It's been a while since we had you on last. The last time we talked a little crafts, but I'd like to mix it up because you do so much more than crafts. And so we're gonna keep it to trails, keep it to crafts, combine the two because what better way to get craft supplies than go walking on a trail?
Exactly. That makes
So
sense to me.
anyways, let's talk a little trails first.
Sure.
Uh, you have a new television show.
Yes, I love what's out there. My thought was that there are so many amazing trails here in Hopkinton, and I don't know what they all look like. So my thought was that especially now where people are maybe confined or they don't have as many activities, that if I showed what's on the trail, showed what's out there, then people could say, "Hey, I want to go to that Rockwood Meadow Trail that I saw on HCAM with Margie and John Ritz, our fabulous camera person." So that was the idea was, get people out on the trails because one of the reasons I moved here way back when, almost 30 years ago, was because of the nature and the trails and the water. And it's such a beautiful resource that we have here.
Well, it's great. You mentioned John Ritz too. So,
Yeah.
between the two of you, I can't think of more people to be bringing us a show about the trails because you both work so hard on them, both between the scoutings and the trail work and everything that you guys do as volunteers in this town. So you started the show, and we already have a couple of the kid and a couple new ones coming up. So explain to some of the trails that we're going to see on your show already.
Sure. So the first trail, I'm going to go way back. The first trail we
Yep.
actually did was Fruit Street Trails back in February of, I want to say, 19. And that one didn't work out well, but it was beautiful. The sound wasn't working, so we can't put that one on. But it was really cool to walk through the trail, see the different varieties of pine trees. And it was winter, so we had beautiful snow sort of filtering off the wind, the blown pine trees. There was one place where there were little tiny tracks on the path and then a hole. So this whatever mouse had come up, gone across the snow and back down. Beautiful birch trees, and there were some sort of interesting abandoned things. I don't know if it was a cellar there or some tires. I can't quite remember because that was a while ago.
Right.
And then we did Whitehall, which is a beautiful trail. So what's on right now is Whitehall. We just did the Rockwood Meadow, and we have Wasika Wildlife Sanctuary on there,
Yep.
and I forget the other one. But anyway,
Center Trail.
what? Center
Center
Trail,
Trail.
of course. The easy one is the one I forgot. Yeah,
I only
so
knew that because that's the one I helped on.
I know, and we saw you there. It was awesome, and we
Yeah,
saw
we had a great time. Yeah.
Jerry Holland was on there, right? And what's cool about Center Trail is it's straight, it's flat, and goes from Main Street over to the Loop Road by Hopkins. But there's a really interesting side trail, the Andrew Wells Trail, and it's
Yeah.
really going. You feel like you're not near the houses at all when you go down in there. So that's a really interesting loop. And it used to be an old railroad bed, so that's a cool thing. And then going over to Wasika is a whole different kind of thing. It's actually an Audubon sanctuary, so you're not supposed to bring dogs in. Whereas Center Trail is great for dog walking, and you have to pick up that stuff that they leave behind, please. But anyway, Wasika was amazing. We had incredible views of of the Beaver Dam, of the Beaver Lodge.
Yeah,
We
there was a really big lodge there on that one.
Yeah, and we had osprey coming in, which was amazing. So, looking at the nest, you could see the nest and, wow, that's cool. And then actually hear the osprey and see the osprey coming in was amazing. So that's a different kind of habitat. And Whitehall had, again, trails next to water, but not beaver.
Right.
Because there was no place where they had dammed it up that we were looking at. There is a dam there, but it's not a beaver dam. So I'm just so impressed, and I love the different types of trails that we have here, and that's why I wanted to get that information out to everybody. I remember Whitehall, there was a mountain biker and a woman running with dogs.
Yep.
Center Trail had dog walking. Wasika had a woman with that long lens on her camera because she was filming and watching the osprey.
Yeah.
So it's different strokes for different folks. There are different types of things here. When we did Rockwood Meadows, that one you commented it sounded like I had a cold. I was a little out of breath on that one because the terrain is, it's more up and down, and again, different varieties, because we went up to the top of Peppercorn Hill, and then the trail went down to the edge of Lake Maspinock and then around. So I just love it. The ones that are still coming, huh?
I was going to say, when you talk about the trails between the flats and the ones that have the terrain, one of the things that I enjoyed most about the Center Trail is taking that little right turn onto Wessel's Trail, and you knew it wasn't the railroad bed anymore because it wasn't a maintained or paved trail. Even though it's not paved, it's
Stone dust. Yeah.
stone dust, but paved. So it was just like, oh yeah, let's go off into the woods a little bit, go up and down, trip over some roots and see some rocks coming out. And of course, when you're on the old rail trails, it's going to be somewhat flat because it was a railroad.
Right.
It was a rail cat.
Exactly.
And I see one thing that I enjoy about Center Trail seems to be the social trail.
Yeah.
And if people watch the show, they'll see us. We bump into a few people, and we even stopped to have a conversation with one. And that's why we met up with Jerry Holland.
That's right.
And it was an unexpected thing, and then John just kept taping us talking to him.
Of course.
Yes, that was
and
a lot of fun.
That is one thing about this time, where you're supposed to be socially distant and 6 feet apart. You can hike, you can walk with people as long as you have a mask on. If you're behind them, it depends on how your comfort level and everything else. But it is okay to walk on a trail with that distance between you. Normally, your mask is screening whatever water droplets you're emitting while you talk.
Right.
And then the other person has that other layer of protection. Right. So, yeah. The ones that are coming up, there's going to be Echo Trail.
Echo Trail's coming?
Yep, it's flat. It's stone dust trail on, a sort of a railroad bed type straight line thing down to a lake. And then the other one that's really cool is College Rock, which again, totally different kind of thing. It's used for rock climbing, this massive, slab of rock. And then it connects to the mountain bike. New England Mountain Bike Association has property where those power lines go over between that area and 495. So mountain bikers are on that trail, rock climbers are on that trail, and we also did a Brook Hollow Trail, which is a horseback riding trail, but the sound didn't work on that either. So we'll do that one again.
So do that again. That was great. That was with you were with Lisa that day, right?
Yes, Lisa Jackson came down with her friend and their 2 horses, and Denise Santaki was kind enough to help film that one. So, we're working out I don't know the filming part of it, so
But there's also a lot more involved than just the Hopkins trails. You're going to show some more local trails that people like to do because, you see the difference in the towns because, like you said, Center Trail, you take your bike, you do your jog, you take your dog for a walk. Um, College Rock, you're going to be climbing some hills, you're going to run into mountain bikers, or you're going to run into rock climbers. The other place, no dogs. It's there for the wildlife. You don't pick the berries there, stuff like that. It's awesome. There's just so much, and everything has its own little flair to it for everybody. So what? So let's switch a little bit to our little crafts portion
Wait a
of
minute,
this.
Mike. Before you do that, I wanted to ask Margie, since she brought up the fact about currently wearing a mask for protection on the trail. I think at this time of year, especially it's getting later, you're going to have bug spray for protection. You got to have tick protection. When you get out in the real woods, and Center Trail's not that bad, but if you go off to the Wessel Trail on the side, you're really kind of down in the woods, kicking around. And it's great to go there. But if you have little kids that go along that trail and decide they want to veer off the trail and go out in the woods and pick up sticks and stones, they should be aware that you need to watch for mosquitoes and ticks and make sure that everybody stays protected, because right now things could get kind of nasty out there.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Bob. That's a really good point. In my Rockwood Meadow film, I actually take a minute to tuck my pants into my socks and talk about that because even though, and I just did a hike yesterday in Vermont where I walked through a meadow and I was kind of worried, I did not find any ticks on me at all. But if deer pass through there and the deer have been friendly with the white-footed mice, which carry the Lyme disease, ticks, you don't know when the deer has been there, when the deer has not been there. So it's good to be careful. Thank you for that reminder. Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
also other things that you got to be careful to. You got to know your areas. You got to know your plants. You should know your plants so you're not rolling around in poison ivy. You need to know what animals are there so you know what to expect and not to expect because oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk a trail because everyone says it's nice and marked out. Oh, well, what's that snake? Ah, I'm afraid of the snakes. You know what? So you gotta sort of know your surroundings. You just can't go out there.
Right. I think I want to dedicate one of our trail trips to poison ivy because it has so many different costumes, I'll say. Sometimes it's little tiny red leaves, sometimes it's that fuzzy vine crawling up the tree,
Yeah,
sometimes it's the traditional leaves of three let it be. And you have to know it's not the leaves that have the jagged edge, it's the smooth with the notch. So yeah, when I was a kid I just didn't let any leaves touch my legs because I figured better safe than sorry. When I walked I'd be like, "Eh." But now I know what it looks like, and that's definitely something that I really want everyone to know.
right.
Usually the trail doesn't have the leaves, poison ivy on it, but you're right. If a kid says, oh, let me go see that thing, or if someone wants to, whatever they want to do further off the trail, yeah, you have to know, be careful where you're stepping for a couple of reasons.
Right.
On the Rockwood Meadow Trail, I found an owl pellet, which is really cool. It's not disgusting because it's not poop. It's comes out the other end because the owl can't process all that, so it
Right.
comes up. But you might be stepping on something really cool, So you also might, you don't want to. I don't know. Yesterday, I think when I was walking yesterday, I was walking through some flower, some plants, and I would say sorry, because I didn't even want to break the plant. I just want to try to respect everything around me.
But my biggest thing that when I'm walking into the woods that I can't stand walking through is any kind of pucker brush. Just
Oh
to be
yeah,
surprised by it and get stung and stopped, and
yeah.
that's the thing I hate the most. Luckily, I don't have the allergy to poison ivy, poison oak. I've been in it, I never really caught it, so it's the puckers that I hate the most, the prickers and all that.
Yeah. I actually am not, I'm itching while I'm saying it. I'm not allergic to poison ivy either. But what I did learn is the one summer that I went too far with that and I just pulled it out of the garden and I pulled it or whatever and I was handling it a lot, towards the end of that summer, I did get a little bit of a rash on my arm. So now, even though I know I'm not allergic to it, I'm not going to push it. And if I think I have touched it, I make sure to wash with soap and water, because if you get that oil off of your skin, it doesn't cause that irritation, and that
Right.
goes into the allergic reaction. So, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
in
want.
my case, I've always been able to go into poison ivy for, well, most of my life without any problem at all. And I've done that, pull the poison ivy out by
Yeah.
hand, never had a problem. But in the last 10 years, for some reason, maybe it's stronger poison ivy up here, I don't know. But I get it every time I touch it. It just blows up all over my skin. So I'm very careful about it. They even have a preventative that you can put on, like an ointment,
Oh,
before you go in the woods, to help that stay off your skin.
sure. Yeah, that makes sense, because if the oil doesn't get to your skin, it can't irritate it. Yeah. Yeah, I had a common experience. So I just wash, as soon as I know that I might have touched it.
And you have to
So,
be careful because it can stay on your clothes or your
oh yeah.
shoes or your
Well,
gloves, and you think, oh, I didn't touch it, until you pick up your clothes and then, wait a minute, now I've got it all over me.
and it gets on dog or
That's,
cat, if they go through it and the oil is on their fur. Oh,
yeah,
yikes. And you gotta, and I've seen kids who have kicked a soccer ball into the, just playing soccer. When I was a soccer coach, they go after the ball, pick the ball up, well, now it's all over here. So anyway, be
yeah.
careful out
One
there.
of the things that I learned doing Physician Focus, and we done a couple shows on Lyme disease, I
Oh,
learned that take your clothes off, throw them right in the dryer, let them run for 30 minutes, take your shower, and whatever's on your clothes is going to be dead, whether it's the
right.
oil's going to be dried up or the ticks or whatever are going to be dead. And
Yeah,
um, then, of course, any shower, you're checking yourself what got under your clothes.
right.
You should be in good shape. I
I
like it.
have a funny story about that, if I can take one more second. Um, when I was living in a two-family house, the kid from upstairs was playing in the yard. I felt something tickling my leg, right? And I had a feeling that it wasn't supposed to be there, whatever it was. And I had pants on. So I did immediately take off the pants and look to see what was there. This poor little 7-year-old kid didn't know what I was doing, but it was a tick. So
Yeah.
and actually, the word tick to me, tickle, I can feel if that tick is on me. So at that point, yeah, you want to wait till you get to the bathroom to take the clothes off to take the shower. I just want to point that out, Mike. Although I did have that one moment where I took care of it right away before it dug its fangs into me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Anyway,
what kind of trail? Before we get into the crafts, let's cross to the crafts. What what kind of things would you pick up that is crafty off a trail? I mean, other than pine cones, the only thing I can think of is pine cones, but my craft abilities are limited. So help me out.
well, here we go. So, I just happen to have a stick, very interesting stick, right? Then I have, and these were actually from, I think these were by the ocean, some really small pieces of cool driftwood. I just happen to, I may have a few craft supplies in my house. So very interesting driftwood. I also picked up these really cool arborvitae leaves, and there's just, this is a common cedar, but it has a really interesting texture. You could use that for a craft. And then I may or may not have a full tray of stones right here that I think I got at a, might have been by the ocean, or I'm not even sure. But I just thought that was so beautiful. I happen to love stones. Mike was teasing me because when I walked on the trail, I didn't say anything about this big, beautiful rock that I walked by. I just kind of patted it when I walked by. So anyway,
Because I know your appreciation for rocks. Yes.
I really love them. So
Well, maybe you want to tell the families out there, how much did you actually spend to get those craft items?
zero. That's my,
Zero,
yeah, exactly.
free.
Right. So I like to use what I find, because you don't have to spend a lot of money to make cool things, in my humble opinion. And there's so much out there. I mean, first of all, it's just beautiful to look at. The other thing I have, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Sometimes plants have really beautiful leaves and colors. I am not sure that how long this would last. If I made a collage out of it, it would get kind of dried out and crackly and fall off. But if you didn't care how long it lasted, these are just some beautiful plants that were in the garden. It's my garden, so it's okay if I picked them. But the color of the leaf is just gorgeous. It may be a coleus variant. I'm not quite sure. So I look for colors. I look for, shapes and textures to use. And then later on, if we have time, I also, because I love stones, this is a stone that we're going to wrap into a necklace similar to what I have on. This is sodalite, and it's just beautiful. And if you put some wire on it, then you can hang it on something and you have a necklace. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll start with the nature thing, and then I just have some paper things. So I sent out something telling people to get 2 pieces of paper and some sticks and some stones and some grass. And so the first thing we're going to do, I'll show you, is you start with if you're going to glue it, you obviously want a piece of paper. This is just like printer paper. All right. So you're going to miss me. That's okay. I'll be back. So here's the printer paper. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my sticks. And this is just making kind of a collage, sort of a picture. So because I'm going to make sort of a person, I'm going to start with where my legs go. Here's where my arms are going to go. Not mine personally. And so then I'm just going to put the stick on there. And the glue is purple right now, but it changes when it dries. All right. So this is the under part of my collage, right? So this is the under. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some clothes on this person. And I'm going to do that by laying down this beautiful piece of cedar, arborvitae. And you want to carefully glue this so you're not going to lose your leaves, but you put some glue on there, you stick that on, and there is her dress. Okay? So it's a lady with a dress. And you don't have to do what I'm doing. You just do your own thing. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little piece of wood, one of those driftwood pieces, glue that on the back. So what we're making is a nature collage. I thought that kind of looked like a head, right? Yep. And then I'm going to use some grass for her hair. So I'm just going to glue all this area here, put the glue on. And this is something the kids can do when there's nothing to do, and go have them collect stuff and then look at what they have and figure out what they want to make. Do you want to make a picture of a lady? Do you want to make, trees and hills? Do you want to make the elephant or a mountain? Lots of things you can do. So
I love how the glue is purple so you can see it, so you know where you applied it.
Yeah.
Because when I had it, of course, it was just clear, and you got lucky if you you found your spot. But I love that. And that dries clear, right?
It does dry clear. Yeah, it's just, there you go.
Wow.
Yep, just dries clear. And these are things that I just happen to have in my house. I did go out and cut some of this, some of the grass, and I did find, as I said, I found the sticks. Actually, the sticks came down in that storm. They're all over the place.
Sure.
So I figured rather than be annoyed, oh my gosh, these sticks are all over the place, we do something with them. We use them. All right. So if you like the hair, you can be done. If you want to do some more stuff, whatever you want to do, it's your creation. You are the artist. All right. But I'm going to be done with that for now.
Would you add a face to that other than just the driftwood, or would you just leave it all natural?
You could. I mean, I do happen to have a Sharpie right here for that very reason. So you could. So it depending on how I'm doing this upside down. So if it comes out weird, it's not my fault. So anyway, I'll put some little eyelashes and then a little, so there's this nice
awesome.
lady. Not too creepy.
Of course, I would have used those nice little googly eyes that you put on dolls and stuff.
You could. You could whatever you want because you're the artist. Now, what I'm doing with the little stones,
Yep.
I'm sure you can guess. These are going to be my hands and my feet, not mine personally, but I'm going to
No.
blob the glue, in the spots where I need this to go. And then I'm going to stick that on there for my hands and my feet.
See, I'm still curious about this glue. I wonder if it tastes as good as the stuff we used to eat when I was in school, the paste.
When I was in school, we used to eat lunch, Mike. I don't know what you're talking
No, we
about.
used to eat the paste. The paste
Are
was
you
good.
saying I should eat this?
No, I'm
No.
asking. I know
No.
it's not toxic, I'm sure, but
It
I'm
looks
sure you,
great.
it does. And it
Yeah.
looks easy to eat too, because
No,
it's
no,
in a stick.
No,
No.
it
No.
doesn't. No, there's no grape smell. You would
Yeah.
know because you would smell it first, right?
For
Right?
our 2-year-old viewers, I don't think we want to show them eating the paste because that
No,
would be
and it is
wrong.
washable.
Yeah.
So it depending on how permanent you want this to be, you want to try to make sure that you are using the material correctly. It is not food.
Right. And basically, what we're demonstrating today is just the crafts that you can do with your kids.
Right.
And we're not out there saying, all right, we're doing professional artwork where we're soldering, where we're using this toxic glue because you're doing something permanent and so forth.
Are you saying this isn't fabulous artwork?
That's not
It
what
looks like it to me. It looks fabulous to me, Margie. I don't know what Mike's talking about.
that came out better than I would have done it, I'm sure.
So this is what you can do just by picking up stuff outside on the yard. You want to make sure that it's clean, and not, yeah. So anyway, this is my nature collage craft number 1. She's very cute. I'm not going to name her, but she's very cute. All right.
Now, are there products that you could use that would keep those, keep the leaves like from drying out? Is there like treatments for it or anything like that that would make it
Yes,
last?
there is. You can. Well, if you were going to really preserve that, you would mount it probably in a acrylic box frame, and you
Okay.
would spray it with I want to say fixative, but I think that's a photographic term. But there is material, there is a acrylic or something spray that you can put on there to keep it intact.
Excellent. So, that
So
means
Margie, you're not going to hang
longer
that
than the
in the refrigerator, are you?
Do you
That's-
know that I have a lot of stuff in my fridge?
Well, what's hanging on the wall behind you?
Here's my fridge. This is because this is where I sit when I tutor. So I got the map of America. I got Manha made me this picture. I got some trails over here. That's of course. It's just life should not be boring, in my humble opinion, of which
Absolutely.
I have a few. Okay, so the next craft we're gonna do, again with this piece of paper. This is so fabulous for a day like today. Can you guess what I'm gonna do?
Paper airplane.
What?
Paper airplane?
No. Oh, that's fun too. But no, this is going to be a fan.
Ah,
I used to make those.
Exactly. So for anybody who doesn't know this, and I'm pretty sure you do, I personally would. There you go. I would decorate this first, maybe. Put some colors. I'm not going to take the time to do that probably. But here's your fan. So what you want to do is you're going to fold one way, turn it over, fold it the exact same thickness if you can, the other way, turn it over, fold it again. I think this is how accordions are made. Very slowly. No, so I think this is called an accordion pleat. I'm not sure. Anyway, you flip it over and you fold it. Flip it over and you fold it. Repeat. And I'm not doing it perfectly, and that's okay.
So what you could say, instead of just using your basic white paper, you could use like a colored paper, like a colored craft paper, or you could go ahead and draw on it, color it all in, and then make your fan.
See, you are an artist. See. All right, so here's what it looks like when you squish it. When you open it, that's accordion pleats. That's what that's called. So it's like this. Open it up, and usually what I do is you can either staple the bottom. How's yours, Mike? You got yours? Nice job. Staple it, or I fold over the bottom just to keep it in place, and then it makes wind. Watch. See, my hair's going like woo. Oh no, it's not. Anyway.
Yeah, my hair's not moving too well. How'd yours come out, Bob?
Oh. I'm blowing all over the place. It's windy enough. Thank you.
Yeah, and this actually, I mean, as goofy as this is, or as goofy as it seems, it really does work. It really is cooling, and I'm a big fan of this fan. Oh, sorry.
I did this once in school, and I felt, oh yeah, it really helped. And then my science teacher says, hey, you are burning more energy by waving that fan than the air it is to cool yourself off.
That's
it's never
awesome.
going to equal out. That's
awesome.
So I got a science lesson out of it.
No, but also that's a great fitness tip. I didn't think of that. So when you're doing this, you're using your lats and your triceps. Yeah, so you're getting a workout. That's good for you.
I like it.
Right? And switch arms. So do this 100 reps, per side.
Or if I should do like Bob does, and just put an air conditioner next to me.
Push the button. That's all. Just push the button. That's all.
Yeah, and that's using your, I don't know, whatever muscle that is. Pecs. All right. So anyway, there's the fan. Another thing that's good on a hot day, kind of, is the hat. Right?
Hats?
So if we have our piece of paper.
Okay.
We're gonna make a hat.
Right,
we fold it in half. It may not fit everybody. So you fold the paper in half, okay? And then you're gonna fold each where the fold is. You fold the top down to make a triangle in the middle.
Okay.
All right. So this goes down, straight line in the middle. And if it's not right, you can fix it like that. I got to fix it a little bit. All right. So here we have this. And when I worked at Elmwood School, we had hat day. And if the kids came into school without a hat, then we could just make them a hat. So
I remember that.
There's my hat. And the other time we did this was on like Colonial Craft Day. If the kids didn't, there you go.
This reminds me, when I used to make French fries.
I was just gonna say, may I take your order? So
Well, one thing I remember, and I don't know if I know how to do it, but we did it with newspapers. And Bob, you are just a couple years older than me, but we used to make the hats out of the newspapers when we went to go get our papers. We used to have to put them together, fold them, and wrap them and get them ready to go out. But the guys working at the printer press had their own hats made out of the newspaper.
Yeah, they make them square, though. They don't make them triangular.
Square or round, right? Square or round.
Square.
This is
Although
more like...
Mike, I think you might need a little bigger piece of paper.
This is more like your military piss cover kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Bob?
right.
Yeah.
Looks like an English comic.
Or Robin Hood.
You could put it like if you didn't have your mask with you,
Yeah.
you could do this. And no, that paper probably wouldn't work as well.
Well, now if I was on the trails with you, I would have probably found a feather somewhere. I could have stuck that in there.
There you go.
We could have played Robin Hood.
It will fit on a teddy bear or maybe a dog. Maybe Kaya would like the hat that you
Yeah, I think so. It reminds me, what was a Bernstein bear I could see wearing a hat like that, or Winnie the Pooh.
Or where you had it before, Margie, it kind of looked like a beak.
I know. And it does. And that makes me think of the picture back in the 1918 flu epidemic when they had that weird beak thing.
Yeah.
Long stick in the hood, and they had a crazy outfit those days. All we have to do is wear a mask. Anyway, the next thing we're going to make is a nature mobile, and I am using some other things than
Those are
nature.
pretty. Now you didn't find those things on the trail.
No. So the stick is and the string. So it's more natural than metal, but it makes like a clicky noise. On it, you probably can't hear that.
Yeah.
You could do that as a wind chime, but it's not going to chime. It's going to click. So it's a wind click, I guess. I don't know. So
So
anyway,
you could use your fan to move that.
oh, what a good idea!
There you go. It's a wind chime.
Thank you. What a team!
That's
Yeah.
a lot of exercise.
It's the reason why Bob wanted to co-host today, and we just found out why.
Good. Thank you, Bob.
My
Yeah.
second childhood.
Well, so to make this again, your child or you want a string,
Yeah.
and it can be any string you have in your house. It can be string that came off a package or whatever. Brown paper rack package is tied up with string, and then you want some strings to hang down, and then you want some beads or whatever you can tie onto the bottom. Okay, so step by step, this is a stick that was in the yard, right? So I'm gonna break that in half because I only need that part. And then I'm gonna get my string, I'll tie my string onto each side. Oh, see how quick I am? So if I tie
See, she originally thought she was going to do 30 minutes and not 60, so she prepared.
yeah, I did. So you guys know how to tie pretty much. So just tie the string on each end so that it's hanging in the middle. And then off of this are going to come your other strings. And what you want to do is cut some pieces of string I would say about 8 inches long.
Okay.
All right. And this is just old yarn that I had actually from a sweater that I made a long time ago. And then you're going to tie that onto the stick. So really tying just means you wrap it around and you make a knot. It's really not complicated.
Now, could you also substitute that with like a hot glue gun instead of tying knots? Because, Bob was in the Navy, so he knows his knots. So he's all set. But someone like me who's not too good at knots, could I glue it together?
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever tie your shoes?
Yes.
Okay, so you're good.
Okay.
This is not even as hard as tying your shoe. It's just making one little knot. It doesn't have to be.
I'll make a knot. I'll put I just like glue guns. I think they're cool.
Well, you can glue it, but it won't work.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Here's my answer. Forget it. I'm not gluing nothing.
Right. So
That's how you learn. Trial and error. Go ahead, try it. See what happens.
Try it. Yeah, there you go. Because the next thing we do, that's one way is just put it on the stick first. But the other thing is to do it from the bottom up. So the first thing you do is you take your bead and you put it onto, this is going to be the bottom bead, and I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to make an X with my string. All right, there's my X, and then I put that on into the loop and I pull both pieces. That's how we make a knot. All right, so make an X, go around, pull it tight. So now I have my anchor on the bottom of my string. And then I'm going to get the other beads that I have that I want to put on there. And I'm just putting them on random order. There's no right or wrong. We're just going to stack it up. I'm going to use a couple small ones. And then I'm going to put on kind of interesting one. So I can't find it. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll put another couple. And I have a couple.
So you're going to want to do it based on, let's say you're going to give that to a gift, and that person's going to hang that on their front porch. And if they have a yellow porch, you're going to probably make it with colors that complement that porch. Because I've been a bearer of many gifts over the years, and you put a lot of thought into it when you make them for the person. So this here, you're just going to make the colors that go together based on what you have, or you're going to say, well, you know what? That person likes a lot of red and I don't have them. I'm going to go buy some beads. Now, where do you find all this fun bead stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. So this is I usually go to Joanne Fabrics down in Milford in the Kohl's Plaza, and these are called pony beads. I have no idea why, but they're called pony beads. They're these the colorful ones. They're just big beads, and they have that are not big beads. They're beads that have a big hole in the middle, so it's easy to put the string through. You don't have to have a needle or thread it or anything. Sometimes I do lick the end of it, so just make sure you're making your own thing. So yeah, so it's just making the string of beads. And what I did, I sort of was thinking Hopkinton color, so I got the green and orange there. But you're right, Mike, you want to think about who is this for, and what purpose is it? Is it decorative? Is it, do you want it to hang on the porch? Do you want to hang it in a window? So you might want to make a bigger one if it's for a place that needs to take up a little more space. So that's absolutely a good point. And right, so for me, I was doing orange and green, but the person may not like that, or you're right, red or blue or patriotic. I'm sorry, patriotic mobile, anything like that. So I'm just going to do one of these strings to show you. So now I've finished putting all of my beads on my string here, and I'm going to hang it on the stick. All right, so basically you're stringing the beads. Okay, and you can string the beads first and put it on the stick, or you can put the string on the stick and then put the beads on the other way. So there is choice, again, because you are the artist.
Right.
Okay, so I like to leave a lot of string hanging because and then you can put them at different lengths. Right.
So the longer the string, the more it's going to sway in the wind.
That's an excellent physics lesson. Yes.
Oh, I know a little something about wind chimes, just a little bit.
Exactly. So, right. So this is a longer one. This one I had some shorter ones, but you see I have the length between the top and the beads a little bit offset.
They're varied, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not all the same. This one is a longer one. And I'm not going to complete this just because you get the idea.
Yeah.
But I would keep going. And I actually, now that I'm looking at it, another thing you could do with this, and I don't know that I have the right hair for it, but you could actually make this into something that you would hang on your hair. So if you had longer hair and you put a clip on that, you could make that into really pretty hair sort of thing.
And I would almost
perfect for you, Mike.
Yeah, or maybe a new earring for me or something.
There you go.
Earring, well, it's kind of long for an ear. Yeah, but you could.
Well, that one is, but you could do, yeah.
You could make earrings that way by putting beads on an earring wire. Yes, we'll do that another time.
Did anybody ever try and use any buttons or washers or?
Yes, exactly. So anything that has a hole in the middle that's lying around, a button mobile would be really cool. And you could do it either way. You could suspend it sideways, or you could do it flat.
Yeah.
And depending on, some of the buttons have a little hook on the end of them. So right, anything you see in the craft store that's got an opening, a hook like that, or a loop, could be used to suspend from a stick, to make a mobile or a wall hanging or a hair ornament.
Well, I tell you, I'm loving these crafts. I'm loving these, especially the nature part. And then you combine a little commercial into the nature. When I say commercial, products that you buy, because the basics to my crafts were, thank you to the Malden Parks and Rec summer program, pot holders, popsicle stick houses, and GIMP. Is that GIMP? Is that still a thing, GIMP?
It is. I didn't do GIMP. Yes, GIMP is a thing. Absolutely.
GIMP is a thing. And my favorite thing that I did with the GIMP was the square ones.
Yeah, exactly. Square stitch, right. So I didn't do that, but That's
I'm fit. I'm 54 years old now, and I still don't know how to start the knot. Somebody always had to get it started for me, and then I could just take off. I could still, to this day, not start a square knot on GIMP.
all right. So you know I have to show you now, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah. So this is not GIMP, but with GIMP, so this is a string. With GIMP, when you're doing a square knot, you just start by making an X.
Won't you do it on the table a little more, not your laptop? Do it on your table.
On my table.
Yep. Right there. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So, right. So
Yep.
what you do is the bottom one, I mean, this is loose here. So you want to
Yep.
do the bottom one and you're going to go over here and over here.
Yeah.
So now I have two loops, right?
And then you weave. Oh, I see where you're going.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I have the two loops, and then I'm going to go over and under
Yep.
on the outside and hold it tight. And then I go over and under on the other side and hold it tight. And then I pull it.
See, Bob, she's made this look easy, but I know I would mess this all up.
Yeah. And then the next time you just keep doing that. You just keep going over and under.
Yeah. Like I said, I could do that afterwards. It was always getting it started that I could never do it. And so thank you for the little thing. And I'm going to see if I can go find some. I mean, my daughters used to do like friendship bracelets, and
Yeah.
it was like the same idea. And I used to do the bracelets out of them, or I do keychains. That was it.
Yeah, we used to make lanyards, which was this long thing, and you hang a whistle off the end of it, and
Yep.
that's circle stitch. But yeah, that's a really fun camp thing to do. It's an easy material to work with. I don't know who invented it, but they were really smart to do
Yeah, people with more time on their hands. It was obviously before the internet.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So the last thing I'm gonna, I will almost last. So this thing that I am going to do next is something that I've done since I was a kid. I did it on a previous show, I think, and that's just wrapping a stone to make it into a pendant. So you could also wrap an incredible piece of.
You just lost your microphone, Margie. Oh, hold on a second. That might be your internet. Can you hear us?
Okay. So
There
what
you
you
go.
want to do?
You're back.
You're back. We lost your audio for a minute.
Oh, sorry. This is a piece of river stone, is what I was saying.
Yep.
And any sort of triangular shaped thing will work. All right. So I have about a foot long piece of wire, a little bit longer. Okay. And the first thing I do is I put it behind the stone and I leave about 2 inches on the top.
Okay.
Then I come straight up the front and I wrap around. Okay, so it's like that.
Yep.
And then there are, now it becomes kind of an organic process because I'm basically just going to wrap the stone and connect back up to the top so that the stone doesn't fall out. Because right now, if I let go, the stone falls out. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wrap it in here securely to keep the stone in place. All right. So I like to just go around. So I just went around once. I'm going to go around again. So now I'm around it twice, like that. And then I'm going to go down on the bottom because there's a kind of a little side piece right there that I can connect to.
Yep. Yep.
All right. And then I'm going to shake it a little bit. It seems pretty secure right now. Okay. So I'm going to come back up again to the top and I'm going to hook it in there and tighten it up. Try to make the pieces of wire tight so it's going to hold. All right. So right now, I've just wrapped that stone with this wire. And the wire, again, you can get it to end fabric. I'm shaking this, shaking all over, and nothing's falling, right? So that's good. So now I'm going to just keep wrapping that wire around in a circle. Sometimes what I do is I connect down like this piece over here. Seems
Yep.
kind of like it's out on the edge. I might go over and just pick that up a little bit with the wire and hook it in. And then at the top, what I do is I make a loop, just hook it over, okay? And I make a loop, and then again, I just wrap it around like that, okay? So you want to get a needle nose pliers. I just happen to have right here, and then you squeeze that a little bit so it's not going to stick out and hurt anybody or stuff. Okay, so there is a wrapped stone. So what I would do with this is I would put it on a necklace thing. See if that'll fit. Oh yes, it does. So once I put that on there, now I have a wrapped stone necklace.
So now you could put it on a necklace you bought. You could put a necklace you made. You could put that on leather. You could put it on twine. You could put it on yarn. You put it on whatever, and it looks like. And what's that? A clip on the end, so it clips on and off. No, on your in your hands.
Oh yeah, and this thing, this is a craft just from the craft store again.
Yep.
And clicks together here. If you made it longer, it would go off. I mean, this actually could probably go off on and off over my head. Yeah, if I choke myself. Anyway, so that's how it looks when you're done. Yep, and it could be shorter or longer, and it really depends which necklace you stick it on. And you're right, absolutely right. It could be on many different kinds. And what I do for the wire, they have different kinds of wire.
Yeah, explain to me the wire, because I mean, you could get copper, you could get tin, you could get bronze, look at all the different colors.
Yeah. So exactly, when I do craft class at Elmwood School after school, I give them a choice. So there's copper wire, so it depends on what they want to do. They're the artist. This is more of a gold color. I think it's brass, maybe. Copper. And then this is more of a silver color. I have used galvanized steel. I think that's what's on this one. This is one of the first ones I did. And when I was in high school, I found a beautiful stone at some nature store and bought it, and it was a triangle shape, and I wrapped it with wire that my dad had in the basement for doing stuff around the house. Right. So again, using materials that you find is a really cool way to do crafts or anything you want to do. Yeah.
That's amazing with the wire. And I like the wire, because you could have went out, you could have got a little drill a piece in, put the hook in or whatever. But the wire just gives it something more, and like there's like a little story behind it. And like there's a little something, and whether the color accentuates the rock, I don't know what it is, but that wire wrapping is, you do that the right way, and it really sets that stone apart.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's why I love to do it. I think it preserves the integrity of the stone too. I drilling into the stone, you don't know if it's going to shatter, you don't know if it's going to split, and
Right.
and I think it does, disrupt the stone. It sounds kind of funny, but true. And yes, you think about, when I do it, I think about the color of the stone and what I'm going to hang it on when I think about which color wire to use,
Sure.
So yeah, that's all a factor. So another thing you can do with wire is you can make a bracelet. Okay. So this just looks like a piece of wire, right? But I have one thing you can do with it is make it into a bracelet that, and this is not complete, but looks like this.
Oh yeah.
So if you make a loop at the end, there's a loop at the end, okay? And then you wrap that around right here, and then you just take the end of it and put a hook at the end there. That looks kind of like a pollywog, right? So you wrap it around, and then you hook it in over here. And I have a bracelet like this that was silver that was given to me in high school, but they hammered on it,
Right.
So if you flatten that down,
Yep.
it would look more finished, and it's a little kind of a little bendy right now, so you'd want to straighten it out. But when you're done, you put that on. That is a functioning bracelet of sorts,
Yeah. And
so
if you
that
wanted to add some extra steps to it, you could put beads on those. I'm sure there's many other things that you could do with that. That is good. I like that hammering look too that you said when you flatten it out.
right. And so this is not complete. This is sort of the beginning.
Sure.
And another similar thing like that is, which also is not complete. I started this and I abandoned it. So the other thing you could do similar to that is make a necklace, so that you would have your same idea, and you could hang things on it. You could just have it be decorative in the front, but you would take your long wire and
Yep.
you loop around at the end. See, I didn't finish that, but you could finish that depending on how thick your wire is. So there, and then this whole string, and then at the end you would make a hook. So if you wanted to suspend something on there, like if we took our wrapped stone off of the black thing and we put it on here, then we would have a different look to this necklace. Okay, so this would be now going around my neck here. Put this other one on. And it's just a different look.
Wow. Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's something you can do with wire, just to make it like that. And then another kind of bracelet, another kind of bracelet you could make is connecting little sections to make sort of a chain link bracelet. And I'm going to use the copper for this one. And I'm going to take just little sections. So you want to take probably about, 3 inches?
Yep.
If we take 3-inch section and we cut it, I gotta find my.
So just so you know, we got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, okay. I'm quick.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so if we, and actually I'll just do it, I'll do it that. All right, so if you take this and you connect these two pieces together, just wrap them. Okay, wrap that together. And then you squish it into an 8. It does work. So I'm going quick, but I kind of made an 8, right? Yep. Then I take another piece and I do the same thing. I'm going to make, but first I'm going to hook through here. Okay.
You do the
so
same
if I hook
thing.
through there, you know where I'm going with this.
Yep.
And I wrap it. And then I squish it and make an 8.
Yeah.
And I would fix all the little loose pieces.
Sure.
But I am connecting different sections of these 8s to make sort of a chain link. And this is, I guess another way they would have done it is just to make a circle that they connect.
Sure.
But when I do it, I'm connecting all these 8s.
Just making one big chain. That's great.
Yes, Bob.
1 minute.
Well,
Okay.
we got to wrap it up. So, Margie, thank you very much for everything. And maybe have you back maybe next week sometime and maybe learn some more stuff.
Okay.
We'll get you back again. But I want to thank you, Bob. Thank you. And I want to thank everyone at home for watching. Want to remind people to watch the planning board meeting tonight at 7. Want to remind everyone to watch tomorrow's show with Dr. Carol Kavanaugh as she gives us more updates on the school. Got to go. Talking real fast. Matt, roll those credits.